We are here. We are back. Thank you for joining us at the Sanctum Sanctorum, Spectrum Sanctorum. I am
That's a different place.
Brandon Lou, along with Joe, and we are shedding light once more but for the final time,
Yes.
for Secret Invasion. Thank you all for joining us. It has been like a slow burn, building in anticipation. We've gotten to the finale, and people don't seem happy, Joe.
No, I don't know why. I was happy.
You were happy?
Yeah, Big did his thing.
I'm like somewhere in the middle. I find that there are areas where like every episode there are some uh fantastic acting moments.
Mm-hmm.
And I live for those.
Okay.
But when it comes to there's just certain choices made creatively that just makes me kind of go, but why? I don't know if I feel as strongly as some others because like it's like, oh, big letdown.
Mm-hmm.
And I was more like, I mean, I guess I could say that's true. Because I don't know what I was hoping for. But I do know that I did not end this like, wow, oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah.
The show has been compared to, or at least leading into it, has been compared to movies like The Winter Soldier, which is like one of my, if not my favorite MCU title.
Okay.
And coming to the Disney Plus television realm of things, it's also been compared to Andor. And
Oh,
I don't know if it lives up to either of those things. I don't know if that's
it's not even as good enough to be called Andor-esque.
right.
Mm.
So it's tough because like there's things I appreciate, things I don't appreciate. We'll talk about it all. We'll do. Let's talk about Fury's plan.
Okay. I thought it was a great plan. I saw it coming because like, all right, wait a minute. I don't remember Nick Fury like. His plan was all right. I'm gonna set up Homegirl to take care of Gravik, and then she did her best acting performance / Nick Fury did his best acting performance. Oh, the radiation! Oh, the radiation! Oh no, mother! Like it was. I saw that coming because it was like, yo, there's no way in hell Nick Fury's gonna go in there and fight Gravik because he's Super Skrull. You can't have Super Gravik. No way.
It's funny. I didn't even think about the radiation until the coughing. Like I was just busy thinking about even without all of the superhero DNA,
Yeah.
just on his own versus regular Super Scroll
Right.
full powers Gravik. He
Yeah.
can't take them.
No.
Like I wasn't even worried about the radiation. I was like, oh damn, now on top of everything else, you got radiation poisoning too?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's where even though I think you had brought up the idea that she would be that Gaia would be in Nick Fury's place, and a number of people suspected it. That wasn't my original thought. I was like, all right, cool. That's probably is gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
That seems very likely that we're gonna have a little scroll battle.
Scroll battle.
Scroll battle. But
You're caught up in love.
but even if like he went head to head, it just didn't make sense to me.
No,
So it's
you
like,
get crushed. Be
it's
the
like,
shortest.
and there's radiation too.
Yeah, be the shortest freaking series finale, and Nick Fury's dead. Especially when he like punched him and he went through like stuff, and it was like, okay, got to be somebody else there because there's no way.
So what I don't understand, because like I said, there's some decisions that were made that I just don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Why actually give Gravik the harvest? I just don't get that part.
Yeah, I
Like you
mean,
could have given him anything, and then he would have still had his long ass monologue.
yep.
Yeah.
Like, why give him the real thing?
Yeah, like why actually give him the real thing? Like
Could just give him the formula for chiclets.
Really? Seriously? I just don't. I
Like,
don't get it. Man.
yeah, like why haven't? But I guess it was because that was always Amelia Clark, and she wanted the harvest. So, all right, if I give him the harvest and he puts it in himself, and I kill him, and I have the harvest, and I have the harvest, and I'm Super Skrull, Ultra. So that's the only reason I thought was like she knew where this location was, she knew where the harvest was, and she wanted the harvest. So I'm gonna give this to Gravik, but I'm gonna take it from him by taking his life real quick.
It just seems really, really weird to me because, like, in doing so, we get this Skrull battle, and it was kind of funny to see because Amelia Clark, like, really does not show her Skrull self at all
Nope.
during this whole deal.
Mm-mm.
It's like they have the same powers. There's no one around them.
Mm-mm.
There's no humans around. There's no reason why, while letting loose, you couldn't just also be a Skrull.
Right.
So it was just funny to me that it was like, no, you stay as Amelia Clark the whole time.
No.
we're gonna let Gravik actually show his true Skrull self. It's just, I don't know. I was amused by it, and then seeing them actually battle, I didn't have a problem with the fight scene. I always prefer a little more hand-to-hand combat than the CGI scenes. Like, practical effects are more fun for me.
Yeah.
No.
This is what everybody wanted too, you know.
Yeah. It's look. I'm not surprised that we got that, but I feel like even when we had the human interactions, human action, if we were to compare, like I still love Fallsworth. Fallsworth was great this episode. And her and Fury stalking the hospital, definitely more her than Fury stalking the hospital.
That was amazing.
Yeah. I enjoy that, but I guess I wish I had more of that throughout the episode, maybe even throughout the series. I feel like the best parts, my favorite action scenes, came from whenever there were humans involved. You know, little close-up battles, like when they were in the butcher shop. You know, scenes like that. Big superhero scene. You have these two nearly invulnerable because they're all superpowered. They've got group powers. And
they got Captain Marvel's powers. They've got I think there's a list.
And I think most importantly, though, is that they both have the Extremis virus, and maybe a big old Captain Marvel blast is stronger than the bullet that took out Vara the first time.
Yeah, exactly.
But I was like, wait, don't you have healing abilities?
Yeah, I didn't understand that. It's like, I blew through him, so he's dead. We're good.
It's like that's the kind of decisions that I just don't. It's like that's when I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Like,
well, it brings up our first Easter egg, which is they also had Ebony Maw's powers because they were telekinetic. Move stuff.
Yes.
And Ebony Maw was in the first Endgame movies, the Avengers, Infinity War. And
we also saw Amelia Clark use the ghost phasing ability.
Yes.
Who's not in any of the big Avenger battles.
Correct.
So it was really interesting seeing. Not that I'm surprised when they said they've got everybody's DNA. You know, Fury doesn't lie about one thing. That's the thing. It's like, oh, I've got all their DNA.
Yeah.
I'm just scrubbing up the seams with a toothbrush.
Oh, I see you spilled a little blood. Let me help you with that. And in my pocket. So Nick Fury is officially the Batman of the MCU now.
Oh yeah, he just pops up.
Yeah, just pops
Everyone
up.
thought it was going to be Moon Knight, but it's Nick Fury.
Yeah, totally. Nick Fury.
Yeah. Let's talk about speaking of Fallsworth. Towards the end of this battle, towards the end of the show. Actually, no, let's not. I'm jumping too far ahead. My mistake. My bad. I already brought up the hospital scene. Let's talk about this hospital scene. Let's talk about Rhodey. Let's talk about Paul. Yeah.
The final fate of Scrody. Or did Scrody get away?
Scrody, no. Scrody's gone. Scroty's gone.
Yeah.
Unless he's got some extremists too, and
No.
there's a
Scroty's
whole bunch of purple blood on that wall, and
Scrody is no longer with us. But I mean,
we'll miss you, Scrody.
R.I.P. The coolest thing that I thought about that hospital scene was how Farnsworth was on top of everything.
Yes.
Like, oh, we're gonna go down the hallway. Oh, there's a gun on me. Oh, it's Farnsworth. It was just like, oh, she's just ready. Just hop on a plane real quick to the hospital from London and take care of this nonsense real quick. And like the dynamic between the standoff with the president and Scrody and her was incredible. But unfortunately, it ends in the result of the president being a douche and like a total, we gotta kill everybody, build a wall, you know, like, oh, what happened? You know, the one Skrull tried to save your life. How are you gonna forget about that real quick, you know? Or maybe he was too busy being knocked out. I don't know.
Yeah, he was pretty knocked out. You know, Fury was trying to say, like, don't trust Colonel James Rhodes. Don't, you know, the Skrulls are our friends. You know, he's trying to whisper in his ear as he was, you know, bleeding out. And no, that didn't result in what Fury wanted.
Right.
Not sure if I'm surprised. This is the sort of thing where, you know, unfortunately, a lot of people are being hidden. My theory way back, and I've mentioned it here on the show before, is that I think Skrulls may end up being blamed for why people are terrible towards like mutants. Why mutants are remaining hidden. You know, it was hinted in Fury's conversation with the president, and in some of the dialogue that Falsworth was saying to Gaia, that there are innocent Skrull, not just innocent Skrulls dying, but innocent people dying because people suspect they're Skrulls. You know, and the way that they are, the government and citizens themselves who've taken it upon themselves to be bringers of justice. There's a
hunt down at the end was
crazy. There's a lot of fear mongering going around. Like there's no, like, Skrulls are being executed like on camera, live in large crowds and at their jobs. There's no real discretion being applied here.
Except for your girl that was the head of the Asian military.
Yes.
She came over here and she's like, "Oh, I got you."
It's crazy seeing this, and I wonder how it will play out on screen, because this is a big change to the atmosphere of the MCU. The idea that we now have this like kind of fear-mongering police presence.
Right.
This is the sort of thing that I might have expected to see from Civil War if Civil War wasn't a movie.
Yeah.
You know, because when superheroes were illegal, there were Thunderbolts to help kind of keep the superheroes in line.
Right.
Register. You know, he's like register for you know, your license to be a superhero.
Correct.
And you won't go to jail. If you are an unregistered superhero, you've gotta go to jail.
Yeah.
So now we have this kind of hate mob, official hate mob that's like, I'm wondering if we're gonna see things like the Friends of Humanity from the X-Men cartoon. I'm wondering if we will see the Skrull Kill Crew, which was not my favorite Marvel thing. I found it very uninteresting, but they are a presence in the Marvel universe for quite some time.
Right.
And it just makes me wonder if we'll see things like the Mutant Registration Act or an Alien Registration Act. Marvel loves their registration acts.
Yeah, you gotta register. Make sure you registered. Do your taxes and register.
Everything needs you need your ID.
Yeah. Let me get that ID real quick.
What do you think will be the long lasting effects coming out of this show?
I think we're gonna get with Farnsworth some type of British like hero group, because now you've got Black Knight, you've got the Amelia Clark Super Skrull, you got Farnsworth starting her own initiative, basically, if you ask me. That's what I got from the end of that end of this episode is like she's like, you know what, the Avengers is a pretty good idea, and they would have been really useful against Super Skrull. So why don't I start my own? That's what I got out of the main end of that. I also think that there's other ramifications, like Holsworth and the real Rhodey, who was taken when he dropped out of the sky in Civil War because he was still in a hospital gown, or taken out of the hospital right after that, and he couldn't walk on his own after he was released. Really shows us that there are going to be some lingering effects from this show that will pop up in both the movies and future shows. I think there's Loki's coming out this summer or this fall, and it would be interesting. What's that?
October. I think
October, yeah, October. So I think that's the next thing we'll see some type of effect with the Skrulls. I don't think they're going to be as prominent, but it'll be like an Easter egg for that. But long term, I think that we're going to have a British Avengers team. Maybe they'll take on the Inhuman. What do you call it? The Thunderbolts. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you've been the ones to go and hint at the possibility of seeing Excalibur somewhere down the road.
Yep.
I know that the British. I do know that the British military have their own. I don't want to say Avengers team, but their own like kind of team of like secret agents, featuring Pete Wisdom. It'd be nice to see Pete Wisdom show up in the MCU, maybe. Because you're right, it does appear as if something's being hinted at. I'm not sure how much Loki will lead into that, because Loki, there's going to be some time jumpiness and
wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, and with all that stuff going on, I'm not sure how much they'll come into contact with Skrulls.
Like I said, like an Easter egg.
Nice well, even not even Skrulls, just to get a sense of the atmosphere. Like if there's a bit of panic going on, it'd be nice to see just some sort of hint. But I don't know how soon we're gonna get my answer. The answers of when, how does Earth look now, or how does the United States look now that we have this Skrull hunting party out and about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe that's something that the Marvels will deal with. Because you've got that movie coming out in November. That is an underlying issue in our other Easter egg, which is the Kree Skrull war. That's a big issue. I'm going to say that that's possibly a big thing that could be in the background, because the Kree Skrull are the near decimation of the Skrull species. Yeah. And since Captain Marvel, Brie Larson, is a Kree, we're going to have some very interesting things to deal with in the future of the MCU, especially with that movie, which is right around the corner in November. Don't forget to buy a Christmas gift, kids. While you're thinking of Christmas gifts, you might want to buy some of our really cool merch.
What are your favorite parts of the series itself as a whole? Where do you think that this show shines? And then
this show shines on the espionage aspect, the secrets that were aligned in the MCU, which were like infiltration in highest offices of highest powers and groups like NATO and the United States. They didn't get the president, but they got Rhodey, who was promoted so high that he was basically the right hand of the president. So I thought that was really cool. Unlike Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., that was just like everyday, run of the mill stuff. This one got into the thick of it a little bit more. We did get to see a lot of cool effects, which is what you expect in a superhero based series. Not to the point of like laser beams everywhere, but the transitions of human to Skrull were really cool. I mean, some of it was like, yeah, CGI, but it was a really cool aspect. I thought that shined greatly throughout the series. And I think that the level of action to story was a good balance. And I thought it was really interesting that they didn't rely on, until the very end, on all those like superpowers to handle all of that You know, where was
Right.
they leaning on the movies? Like Thor was, I'm lightning out of my eyes. You know.
Where do you think the show was weakest? Where would you have liked to have seen improvement?
I think its weakness was in the connection with the larger universe. Um, it would have been interesting to have more cameos, or and what Marvel's most famous for didn't happen at all in this series, and that's post credits. I thought it was interesting that I'm sitting watching like this is the last one. Every episode, I'm like, hey, maybe this one. Nope, maybe this one. Nope, maybe this one. Jeez, you know, and I kind of wanted to give up, but even in the last one, I was like, maybe this one because it's the last one. Never happened. They were like, nah, only for the movies, you know.
You know, it's funny. I didn't even look for the cameos until the last one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't even look. I didn't. It didn't even dawn on me. And then on the last one, I was like, all right, so maybe there'll be a little hint of what's to come. Um, we did just see Harrison Ford for the briefest second, being freed, from his little scroll pod, with his beard and everything. He was Thunderbolt Rawson.
Oh,
So it's nice seeing that small, tiny cameo. Um, but I thought that we might get some more insight or where we go next from here, and we didn't get that. So
yeah.
that was a little disappointing for me. Um, Man, I just really wish. I feel like the show's biggest strength for me was some of the acting
Hmm.
from so many people. Samuel L. Jackson, uh, uh, just he was carrying so much of it, but his conversations with Talos, his conversations with Priscilla or Vara, her conversations with Rhodey, his conversations with Rhodey.
His conversations with Rhodey were the deepest because he was like, you know,
I thought it really leaned hard on the acting and the talent of a lot of the people there. Um, I did not feel at any point like, oh man, I don't know. I don't know if I just didn't feel a lot of tension.
oh, I felt tension between Rhodey and Scrody and Nick.
Like I'm not someone who like needs a ton of cameos.
Mm,
But this, when you're doing this show and you're doing,
Nick
who do you
Fury.
trust?
Yeah.
That was the tagline. Who do you trust? And I didn't feel like there was a lot of. It's like, oh my
Mistrust.
god! Like I didn't feel that like anything could happen at any moment. Um, and so that's why I think for me personally, it's like I don't dislike the show so
Mhm.
much as it's not. It was not the machine that I thought it was going to be, or that it was hyped up to be. I thought it was going to be very. I thought it was just going to be just a bit more.
Mm.
I
got like a Diet Coke instead of like a full Coke.
think that's fair.
Yeah.
Where does this rank for you as far as like in between the shows? I brought this up in the midway point.
Now here we are at the end. Loki is still my favorite, hands down. I enjoy
It's always interesting talking to you because you and I don't always have the same opinion. Like you're not a big WandaVision guy.
I hated WandaVision. That was my least favorite. That's at the bottom. So I would say this is probably like third because I like.
Really?
Yeah,
that's pretty high.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only like 6 shows.
Right. This is right in the middle.
Well, you put that in your top 3. You put that.
Loki's number 1. Does Werewolf by Night count though?
No, I'm not including
good.
Then the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special counts too. And
no, yeah. No.
What If counts?
What If counts? Oh, so then this would be 4. This is now lower. What If had some really dope episodes. I really enjoyed that one. If you guys haven't seen that, we'll watch that. That's probably one of the better ones on the channel. So that's probably number 2. Especially that Doctor Strange one, and it connected to the Doctor Strange movie. That was. So yeah, this is number 4 now. Thanks, Brandon.
No problem.
Yeah. How about you? Where are you rating this?
I think I rank this either above or it's tied with She-Hulk. For me. Yeah. And it's tough because I don't really like. If you remember, like I wasn't there for every episode of Shedding Light for She-Hulk.
Yeah, I remember that. It's our first show.
Yes, but at the time, She-Hulk was like there were things that I absolutely enjoyed and things that were questionable. So my feelings about it are very similar.
Mm.
But like, I think I put I think I put Moon Knight above this. I think I put Miss Marvel above this. I think I put What If above this. And
I put What If, not Miss Marvel. I
know,
like Miss Marvel.
and
Marvel had a lot of heart, but
yes.
we got Nick Fury, so that kind of
I see. But I also put WandaVision and Loki. I put them both above this. I think I agree with you. Looking back, that like there was a time when WandaVision might have been like my absolute favorite. And I think it's a toss up for me between Loki and WandaVision. Both
wow.
of them were both very, very good. I
Mm.
like the things that they did. It felt different. It felt compelling. And maybe it's because I don't want to say the good guys lost, so to speak. But
They
like,
did though.
I mean, they kind of did. Like I think what weakens WandaVision for me is the ending of how it made how it tried to redeem Scarlet Witch,
Yeah,
kind of turn her into
a villain.
uh well, I felt like they didn't know what they wanted it to be. Like for WandaVision, it was like, oh, Photon, Monica Rambeau,
Yeah,
she's like, these people will never know what you gave up for them or what you
right.
gave up. It's like you tortured these people.
Yeah,
You
you
kept them
kidnapped
prisoners in your
everybody.
little
That's not
bubble.
cool. Yeah.
So I never felt Wanda was redeemed.
No, she
But
went further actually.
no, but I felt like the way that the show was leaning was like almost like trying to make her seem like the good guy. Then towards the end, we see her still looking at the dark hole, and I just felt like there's a lot of mixed messages there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mm. Well, I felt Loki was the most fun because Tom is such a fun actor. But then you also got a lot of like nice cameos of people that I know as actors, like the guy in the registry.
Classic Loki.
What's that? Classic Loki was those cameos were great. We got Lizard Loki, Gator Loki, we got Throg. There was a lot of fun different cameos in that. And
Fair enough.
I also loved the music every time. Every time this is one of the few shows that I actually sat and let not skip the intro. I was like, I like this tune. I'm really digging it. It's up my alley. And I really like Owen Wilson. Owen Wilson's
Yeah.
that dude. He was really fun, and I enjoyed his screen time in that show. And the Willie won't he of Loki. Is he gonna betray me, or am I, like, what's going on here? And the whole setup, I felt like it was world building, whereas this one was like isolated. Same thing with She-Hulk, same thing with WandaVision. I didn't feel like it really broke free from any of the norms of a singular story. Whereas this one could have, because you got Britain, you got Russia, but only globally. Whereas the other ones, you kind of felt like, okay, we're dealing with time and space and other species, and so it was like more going on. The TVA had, so I'm a big Star Trek guy. That's why I'm Captain Joe Dove. We have that show available for you to watch. If you like Star Trek, go check it out. And one of the shows is Lower Decks, and there's a character on that show that the actor who, he opened the drawer and he had all the Infinity Stone. Yeah, I'm gonna put that with everything else. The Cosmic Cube, like none of those things mattered, and just kind of put like a whole finite aspect to that. I really like that world building because there's things more powerful than what we know. So like, we've got guns, and then the aliens come, we got laser guns. There's always like a one up, and I felt like that did a really good job of like exposing that in the MCU.
I think Loki and maybe, dare I say, What If are the only shows that in my mind stuck the landing. Like when like watching this corrupted Doctor Strange, kind of lose his universe and ends up just kind of being stuck in this pocket with the Watcher.
Right.
I thought that was all really wild, actually.
Yeah.
Seeing the Lokis and their confrontations with Kang.
Right.
Wow, like these endings are big moments that not just raise questions, but also just kind of make the world or make the MCU more interesting. But like the episode itself and the series itself doesn't lose itself. Uh, instead of just wondering what's next, I could look at this whole series and go like, that's really good. I really enjoyed this whole series from beginning to end. Uh, uh, Even if I never watch another MCU show, I can be satisfied with this.
That brings us
Uh,
to the question for me to you is, do you think these will be the last two MCU shows? Because Bob, the new management, is like not keen on the TV setup because they don't make as much money as they do in the films.
it's tough to say. I don't know if they'll be the last shows.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there'll be as many shows. I don't think they've all proven that they can be successful. Um, I think I hope personally that special events like Werewolf by Night or the Christmas special Guardians of the Galaxy don't go away.
Right.
I like the idea of having these specials, especially Werewolf by Night, because it didn't feel like it was part of the canon. It felt like it was its own thing, and I like that. I think DC does that better than Marvel. I don't know how
Interesting.
long that's going to stay, because I know that James Gunn has hinted that everything is going to tie together. Like the animations are going to tie together. The video games are going to tie together.
Yeah.
And but for now, I know that I can log on to Max right now and watch this amazing My Adventures of Superman show.
That show is very good.
I know that I can log on to Max right now and watch the amazing Harley Quinn show.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's out yet, but I know that there is anime coming out, Suicide Squad Isekai.
Okay.
And it feels like, it might not actually be true, I've never done the measurement, but it feels like every time I log on to Max or something like that, there's a new like Batman like animated movie.
Mm-hmm.
So of I hate the idea of like, well, because this isn't doing well, Marvel may not have another TV series at all or anything. I think they need to do more, but not necessarily so much that's tied to the MCU. I just
Right.
would like to see more experimentation and a little more freedom with their properties. Like there's so many characters that like I know you're a big Gladiator fan.
I am
You
huge.
really enjoy Gladiator. It would seem common sense that we would see Gladiator in the MCU. But think
Mm-hmm.
about how many X-Men movies there have already been.
5.
And we've never once gone into like space or explored the Shi'ar connection or seen the Imperial Guard. So even now, as we know, the X-Men will be coming
Yeah.
eventually. I still wonder, are you going to get to see one of your favorite characters, or is this going to be another missed opportunity? So I
I
hate
think.
the idea
Mhm.
of there being no more TV series. I just would like to see a little more experimentation done.
Yeah. I mean, I think that we're gonna get Gladiator for sure because all the Guardians of the Galaxy is still a big property, and I think that though
Well,
James
Star
Gunn,
Lord's on Earth now.
Star
Spoiler.
Lord's on Earth, but that is true. But I don't think that that's going to be the end of him. I think we're going to see him end up Rocket Raccoon rather end up with a new team. And in the comics, that team does change. You get Nova, Gladiator. You get really big powerhouses in the comics. So it'll be interesting to
Absolutely.
see a new team built. I'm not sure if Rocket is the only staple for Guardians or not, but I know that the team has fluctuated, and you get some badasses. So I think
Right.
even Adam Warlock joined them at one point. So you still got a
Hmm.
great team. And I enjoyed Adam Warlock in that movie. He was like silly fun. And I've always liked the character of Adam Warlock. I like his costume design, which is why I have recently
Oh, what are you reaching for? What are you reaching for?
Purchased Adam Warlock #1. I was so happy because I love this costume. Like, it's so cool. You got the lightning bolt in the center. You got the cummerbund, and you got the
Wait,
broad shoulders. I just thought it was a great design. And he's
you
this
got to
I'm
just get you the costume and put you in it, dude. You just
yeah.
gotta.
I'm just gonna have water for the rest of the week, and then I'll fit into the costume.
I'm doing the same. I'm gonna do the same thing.
Yeah.
The I don't know if this will be the last. I don't think it will be the last, but I do think there will be a dramatic shift in how many shows we get. I think the ongoing strike right now with the WGA and SAG, I think right now everybody's on pause.
Yeah.
So I don't expect many, if any, like after Loki. I'm not sure if any. I don't know if any of the shows that were in pre-production or actually in the process of producing have been finished. So I think after Loki, all TV shows are going to be on pause. And maybe we'll only get one or two a year, or maybe one every other year, as opposed to, it felt like Disney Plus was like, here's your Marvel thing, here's your Star Wars thing, here's your Marvel thing, here's your Star Wars. They kind of filled up the calendar off of Marvel and Star Wars. Star Wars arguably has done a better job of actually, filling up that calendar and feeling like quality, or it doesn't feel like
it's because the guy behind it, Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, they're a dynamic duo, and they put real quality out, except for Boba Fett, which was Mando Part 2.5. Like, let's be real. But I did still enjoy that. I think everything they've done has been really quality with Star Wars, except for the movies where you like reverse. I really enjoyed, what do you call it? I enjoyed the Rogue One, and that's about it when it comes to the movies. Because when I first saw their first film, and I think it was Rise of the Force or something like that. The Force Unleashed, something. Force Unleashed, rather. Awakens. Force Awakens, yes. And like, I was super excited and I loved it. It's like, wow, that was great. And then my friends go, okay, let me sit you down for a second. Because I have this ability to like love things and just be like, yeah, it was wonderful. I love it. It was amazing. And then I look back and then my friends go, look at this. And they talking to me about it. I'm like, ooh, like the ending of Game of Thrones. At first it was like, it's an ending. It's great. They stabbed him. You know what I mean? And then you look back, no, they didn't do nothing, And I fully get that. And I have a feeling that this may happen with this show, but I don't think so, because you and I have sat and talked about this. And I feel like that's helped. Like, okay, this is decent. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but
yeah, I think it's decent. But it's also the lowest ranked.
Yes,
it is the lowest ranked
MCU Marvel property ever.
And part of it is because I think people were just kind of giving up on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
In the streaming wars anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be interesting, because I know that Bob Iger is trying to create this one app experience. A lot of Disney Plus shows are moving to Hulu. Some are going to ABC. Some network channels, cable. So it'll be interesting to see what the future holds for Disney Plus. And I think only then will we have a better idea of what we can expect from Marvel Television. It's kind of hard to tell right now, as the streaming business and the contractual business between writers and actors and executives is all cleared up. Really hard to say.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be done soon, because they deserve their stuff, and we'll keep AI out of everything. I'm 100% in agreement with them. Like, it's everybody's job could be replaced with AI, and it's scary. So stop it.
That is definitely a real thing that we're seeing with the actors. I think most people don't realize, like, it's very nice to see some of the bigger stars who we know are making money on the front lines. But most actors are not, are not millionaires. They're not even 100,000 heirs.
Right.
They're
Not even 100 heirs in reality because you
Yeah.
got bills, and if they get sick, forget it. You know.
the idea of replacing background characters, like we're gonna record you
Once.
and keep your image as like stock photo image, and then just keep rehashing it in the background. And that's terrible.
Right.
As someone who's been an extra himself, I'd like to
Oh.
keep making my extra money.
There you go.
It's a very weird time.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with Disney Plus. We'll see what happens with Marvel soon enough. Hopefully, whatever we do get really ramps up the quality. I am still looking forward to Loki. I am still looking forward to the Marvels. And let us know what you're looking forward to. What did you like? What did you not like? Now's your time to. I mean, anytime you feel ready, go ahead and let us know in the comments what you thought about the show. Because there is definitely an opportunity for you all to let us know how you feel. I mean, if you look at Rotten Tomatoes right now,
oof, brutal.
The critics and the audience seem to agree that it is in the 50s.
Yeah,
which is not certified fresh.
Nope. Totally right.
I see people ranking it as low as 2 stars. I don't feel the same. I will admit I don't think 50 is that bad of a score because I'm very much in the middle.
Yeah.
I don't think it's terrible. I don't think it's great. I'm just kind of meh.
Yep. Meh time.
I am excited for the MCU. I am excited for Marvels. I'm looking forward to Thunderbolts. I'm looking forward to Loki. So let us know what you think. Are you feeling some of that
pizzazz
fatigue? I'm sorry. Maybe I was too excited for fatigue. I'm sorry.
You did the hair clicks. I was like, yeah.
Oh, so tired.
No.
Are you tired of this Marvel nonsense?
Yeah. But let us know below, and let's share our exciting news. We will be gone for 2 weeks, but we will be back to shed light on Only Murders in the Building.
Yes.
Super excited to go into that. Brandon and I are going to dive into it. We're going to have a fun time, and we hope you are there for it. It'll be at 8:30 in the morning, every morning, Saturday, same time, same channel.
I believe this is our first non-Marvel, non-Star Wars shedding light.
Yes,
So it'll be nice exploring a new genre with you all, doing a little bit of comedy, doing a little bit of mystery. We can all take guesses on who we think is the murderer or murderers.
Right.
So I'm really looking forward to seeing that.
Absolutely.
And being on that journey with all of you.
That's right.
All right. So until then, Joe, I think
turn off some lights.
Yeah, I think it's time to turn off these lights.
All right. Check out SpectrumSanctorum.net for all of our podcast merch. We have an entire merch store ready to give you all the things that you loved about our podcast. And get notified on all of our socials: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and our Spectrum Sanctorum merch store. Follow us today and be sure to hit that bell when you're watching our YouTube videos so you can be notified of when a new episode releases.